Happy Wednesday, my friends. We have had two straight winning days, almost a sweep yesterday. I'm not beating my horn just yet, but hey, the people were chirping, and I said that I have to rebound, and so far we've been doing all right. Let's keep the momentum going this week. Today, I've got three best bets for you: college basketball, and I do have an NBA moneyline parlay for you guys. Let's get into it. This is the free three. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm bringing down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we're just trying to get to the bag together and get that money. Yesterday, you guys saw me in the car. I was driving. Well, I wasn't driving, but I was riding on my way actually up to New York. Shout out to the New York home team. And actually, I might have a bet with one of those teams a little bit later. But overall, I just want to show up, want to give you guys plays yesterday anyway, and I appreciate all the love and support. Yes, Nick, I wasn't at Honda Pilot Truck yesterday, but that doesn't matter because we were still able to cook up some winners. I was so close to being able to hit that horn today. I couldn't do the horn for back-to-back days, but I'll take a 5-1 streak over the last 2 days. Yesterday, we went 2-1. Suns on the spread. No sweat bet there. I told you guys that looked funny. I knew there was a reason why they paid Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. We got that done. Baylor on the spread. Absolutely blew out Sam Houston State. Like I told you, our only loss on the day. We got the Kansas Jayhawks right on the money line. We got the Bucks right on the money line. And our only loss came with the Timberwolves on the money line. But you know what? Hey, it happens. I was a little worried about that game late night. I thought because of the NBA Cup, Anthony Edwards, the rest of those players there in Minnesota would have wanted to grab that win against the Blazers, but I guess they weren't motivated. I don't know what happened. But hey, we lost on that 2-1 on the day. So we're clawing back right now for the month of November. You love to see it. Just a few games under 500, but we still got some time ahead of us. So stick with us. Smash that subscribe button if you have not just yet. And let's get into these winners for today. All right, diving into these winners real fast. I'm not going to lie to you guys, okay? We do have some college basketball. We do have some college basketball on the slate that I like today, and we're going to have some chalk that we're going to have to lay. So let's just get into it. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Tennessee against Montana Grizzlies. We're taking Tennessee minus 25.5, minus 115 odds. I know it is a very high spread. You do not have to tell me. I'm not a big fan of taking high spreads. You guys know that if you've been tapped into the channel for a long time. But right now, where we are in the regular season in college basketball, it's just what you have to do until we start getting to conference play because we have really big disparities. But if there is a game where I think that Tennessee is going to be able to cover this spread, it is against this Montana team. Montana so far in the year is 2-1. Their only loss coming against an Oregon team 79-48. So they lost that game by 31 points on the road, and that is why I like Tennessee here today. Why? Because the other two teams that Montana has played this year are Hawaii Hilo. I don't know if you guys know who that is, and Northwest Indian. I don't know who that is either. I think they're D2, D3, or NAIA schools. Either way, they're not going to get it done against a very, very good Tennessee team. And there was a little bit of questions surrounding this Tennessee team. They lost, obviously, Dalton Connect. They lost a few transfers in the transfer portal, but they still have Zakai Ziegler. They got Chaz Lanier, right? They still have some players there on that team who can play. And then, obviously, you know, Rick Barnes and what he does on the defensive side is what Tennessee does and how they make their bread and butter. Right now, to start the regular season, they're number 3 in defensive efficiency. That's why they were able to beat Louisville by 22 points. Everybody and their mom was on Louisville in that game, and I get it. Tennessee was on the road against a very good Louisville team that's been rebuilding, but Tennessee silenced all the doubters, all the haters, and said, you know what, we can beat a Power 5 school by 20 plus points, and now we're getting 25 points against a Montana team that has only played one D1 opponent. They lost that to that D1 opponent by more than 30 points. This Tennessee team is better than Oregon in my personal opinion. And then another thing that I saw was that Oregon was able to snag 13 offensive rebounds against Montana. And guess what? Tennessee is a team that likes to crash the boards as well. We know that is a staple of what Rick Barnes likes to do in terms of getting to the glass, in terms of getting to the free throw line. Right now, to start the regular season, Tennessee is 15th in effective field goal percentage and 60th in offensive rebound percentage. I know it's just 2 games into the regular season, but for me, this is just a game where Tennessee's at home. Montana's traveling here. Huge step up in class for them. I expect Tennessee to blow them out after a big win against Louisville. Don't overthink it. 26 points. I know that's a lot of points. I'm not a big fan of that, just in case, you know, Rick Barnes pulls the starters and then we start getting the bench players coming in. They start BSing, but we'll cross our fingers today. We're going to go with this one as our first pick of the day. For our second best bet of the day, we're going to stay in the college ranks, and we're going to go to the NC State and Coastal Carolina matchup, a matchup of the Carolinas there, and we're going to go with the under here, 143.5, minus 120 odds. So who does anybody know on NC State anymore? No, DJ Burns isn't there anymore. Yes, they've lost a few of the key pieces that led them to that Final Four run last year. But Kevin Keatts, he's one of those coaches who knows how to figure things out. Am I saying this is going to be another great year for NC State? Not necessarily. We still have to kind of determine and see where they're going to fall. Right? But so far this year, they're 2-0 on the year. They haven't played anybody particularly strong. They beat USC Upstate 97-66, and they were able to beat Presbyterian 81-72. Both of those games were at home, and now they face a Coastal Carolina team that's just about similarly ranked as those two programs are. But the thing about Coastal Carolina is they're 1-1 on the season, but they like to play really slow. So so far, just through 2 games, I know it's in the beginning of the season, but in terms of adjusted tempo and pace, they're 342. Keep in mind, there's only about 350 college basketball teams, so they're literally in the bottom 10 in terms of slowest pace per game. And if you look at them on the offensive side in terms of average possession length, even longer, 361 are they right now ranked. So they are literally playing at a snail's pace on offense, and that's why I just feel like even though NC State is going to win this game, I don't know if they're going to be able to cover the 18.5, 19 point that the spread has it at. Why? Because of how slow Coastal Carolina gets to play. I don't know if we're even going to have enough possessions, because NC State is a team that can play fast, but they are also a team that is fine with playing slow, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They want you to use up a lot of the shot clock. They want you to use up a lot of the shot clock. They want you to make a lot of passes. They don't want you to get out in transition. This is a top 100 defense as well. So they're very good on the defensive side of the ball. They're a team right now to get the season started at adjusted tempo at 155. So middle of the pack. Again, it's a very limited sample size, not a whole lot of teams to go off of, but the thing is, Coastal Carolina is very similar to Presbyterian, USC Upstate in terms of talent level. If they're similar in terms of talent level and NC State went under in their last game, it gives me confidence to say, okay, this one will go under as well, given the fact that this team plays even slower than that team. KenPom has this as an 81-62 win for NC State, so that puts us right there on this 142, 143 number. So I like that as well. This is just one of those situational spots where I believe that we're just going to get a lot of slow tempo. We're not going to get a whole lot of points here. And if NC State jumps out to a quick lead, they can take their foot off the gas as well. Coastal Carolina is not a team that, is going to be shocking anybody in the Sun Belt Conference this year. So for me, I'm taking the under here from 2 slow-paced teams. Both of these teams have trended towards the under so far this season, so no reason to go away from it here. Let's take the under as our second best bet of the day. Our third and final best bet of the day, let's go for a quick money line parlay. I know this sold yesterday, but we're going to run it back because we were very close, and I really like these teams. And it's an NBA money line parlay because there are a lot of teams on the back-to-back, obviously following the NBA Cup yesterday. For me, I just didn't really want to take any player props. I just don't know who's playing, who's not. That's just what the NBA is, right? So let's just go with 3 teams who need to get it done today, okay? We're going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to go with the OKC Thunder, and we're going with the New York Knicks. That is plus 100 odds value. So not the best odds for 3 teams, but the Thunder is really just in there as just like an extra money line juice type of play, okay? So let's not going to break down these 2 teams in much detail, but Milwaukee Bucks have the Detroit Pistons coming into town. The Pistons played yesterday against the Heat. If you guys saw that game, Eric Spoelstra actually cost the Heat that game by calling a timeout when he didn't have any, which led to a technical free throw, and that allowed Detroit to win the game after they gave up a game-tying alley-oop with 1 second left. That was pretty obvious that was going to happen, but whatever. I don't know what coaching happened there. I'm not an NBA head coach, but I figured, like, come on, you have 1 second left in the game. Of course, they're going to throw it towards the rim. I guess they weren't ready for that. Whatever. But you know what? That game went into overtime for Detroit. Now they have to get on the road and travel to Milwaukee. It's not that big of a travel, but they still have to travel. They got to get on the road on second night of the back-to-back on the road after you played an overtime game yesterday. I don't like that. Bucks picked up an easy win last night. We were on them on the money line, 99-85 against the Raptors. But the beautiful thing about that, only person who played more than 35 minutes for the Bucks was Brook Lopez. So Giannis, he was able to play about 30 minutes or so. Obviously, there's still no Chris Middleton. I don't know if Dame is playing today or not. He didn't play yesterday, but I think this is that point in the season for the Bucks where they're able to pick up a few wins against some of the lower caliber teams in their conference, like they did with the Raptors yesterday, like they can do with the Pistons today. So I expect them to grab the dub at home today. I'm not laying the chalk on the spread. Just give me the money line for them. Now the Knicks are also playing on the second night of a back-to-back, but they are at home after traveling to Philadelphia last night and dismantling the 76ers. And I like them here in the situational spot because they're taking on the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are 4-7 on the year. Meanwhile, the Knicks are 5-5. But for me, if you dive into the records a little bit deeper, even though they have very similar kind of records right now, the Bulls have lost games, to just good teams. The Cavaliers, they lost. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they lost. Dallas, they lost. They even lost against the Utah Jazz. They were able to pick up a win against the Hawks a few nights ago, but for me, this is a Knicks team that's had a pretty tough schedule to start the regular season. They picked up a win against the Knicks yesterday. They lost to the Indiana Pacers on the road. They were able to beat the Bucks at home before dropping back-to-back games against the Hawks and the Rockets, and that was in the last 5, but 4 of those last 5 games were on the road. Now they're back at home at the Garden, where they're typically much better than they are on the road. I like the situational spot here for them at home after picking up a big win against the Sixers against a bad team in the Bulls. So I'm taking the Knicks on the money line here. And the last and final pick, if you want to throw a college basketball huge favorite here, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm throwing the Thunder in here, so taking on the Pelicans. Who do the Pelicans have right now? An absolute G League team. Their injury list is longer than a grocery shopping list. No McCollum, no Dejounte Murray, no Zion, no Herbert Jones, no Jose Alvarado, no Jordan Hawkins, no Daniel Theis. I mean, everybody's injured for them, okay? So for me, this is just a Thunder team who's only down Chet, but this is still a good spot for them to pick up a big dub. Obviously, as we saw the Celtics lose yesterday, so just because you're missing a star player doesn't mean anything. But for me, I think the Thunder are going to be able to get it done. They know they're in a competitive Western Conference where you can't lose games to teams like the Pelicans when they don't have their players playing. They're only 3-8 on the year. Shoot, they might be in that Cooper Flag stakes if this continues. I mean, Zion, Cooper Flag on the same team? Who knows? No Brandon Ingram either for them. So give me the Thunder here as the third and final finish off the parlay. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that I've given you guys on this Wednesday card real fast. Give me Tennessee on the spread, minus 25.5. Give me NC State and Coastal Carolina under 143.5. And give me the money line parlay between the Bucks, the Knicks, and the Thunder. That gets you to plus 100 chicky there. Can't be too mad at it. But you know what? There's some other teams out there that you can replace the Thunder with if you want to get better value. All right, my friends? For more picks and plays I'm dropping throughout the day, I'll probably have 1 or 2 added winners. I added Cooper Flag's rebounds yesterday. Shout out for Snowman Sports for that winner that I saw him pitch on Surgical Stream. Very, very great pick. Easily he went over that rebound total. So I'll probably have an added player too. So if you want that, click the link in the description, join the free Discord group, and I've got you guys. So all right, my friends, let's get to that cheddar, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Later, gang.